Namaste and greetings, and welcome to the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, a Centers for Spiritual Living teaching center. I'm Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, the founding minister and spiritual director. If you ever have questions about who I am, who we are, what we do, what is Spiritually Integrated Arts? What is a teaching center? What is Centers for Spiritual Living? What is metaphysical spirituality? What is New Thought? Science of Mind and Spirit? How do I become a member? How can I support, tithe, and donate? All of these questions and so many more. Send an email. You have two options. SIAADMIN, Spiritually Integrated Arts, admin at spirituallyintegratederarts.org, or spirituallyintegratederarts@gmail.com. Either of those will work. You can also visit our website, www.spirituallyintegratederarts.org. Now, you may be wondering, where else can I find and follow? There are several other social media platforms that you can also subscribe and follow. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel, where you can also find all of our Sunday messages and more. I look forward to hearing from you soon. I look forward to you being a part of this beloved community. Because we are a virtual community, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. This can also be your spiritual community, because you can have more than one. Anywhere that you feel supported, anywhere you are spiritually fed is home, is community, is relationship. So I look forward to dialoguing more, conversing more, getting to know you. Much love and appreciation. Live long and prosper. Chat with you soon. Take care. Namaste and welcome to the month of September. If you do not currently have the link to join us in our After Sunday Message Fellowship Hall on Zoom, then I invite you to send an email to either of the two email addresses that you see at the bottom of your screen. SIA admin, ADMIN, at spirituallyintegratederarts.org, or spirituallyintegratederarts@gmail.com. Once you send the email, the link for Zoom will be sent to you. This way you get to join us for the fellowship time on the 3rd, that's today, on the 10th, and on the 17th. Make note of both email addresses, as they will come in handy for future events. Now, you ready? Because I don't know if you already have the information about the website, social media, etc. So this is your opportunity to go and visit the website, spirituallyintegratederarts.org, and to like, follow, share, subscribe to all of the other social media platforms that we are on: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel, where all of the Sunday messages are archived for you to visit, to rewatch, to watch for the first time, and to share with others. There will be more things added as well, so stay tuned. Now, at the bottom of your screen, you will see 2 QR codes. Each of these will link you to either Givelify or PayPal, so that you may donate or tithe and support financially this beloved community if you are spiritually fed here, which I would assume you are, or you wouldn't be here. So we gratefully appreciate all that you do and all that you are to help this ministry do what we are here to do, to actualize our vision, our mission, and our purpose. Now,
Do you remember those email addresses that I mentioned? Because sending an email will also give you access to the Wednesday night Science of Mind and Spirit discussion group facilitated by me, meeting from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we discuss all things regarding Science of Mind and Spirit 4.0. What is Science of Mind and Spirit? How do we apply it? How do we live it? Especially today in this 21st century world of so much. On Thursday nights, on Thursday nights, you get to join Tracy as she facilitates the Thursday night study group, also 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where they go over the questions that I always leave at the end of each Sunday message. Yeah, there are always some thought-provoking questions at the end of the message. So if today is your first day, you will get exposed to those questions. And if you are a regular, you already know. So once again, each of these has a separate Zoom link. If you do not have, send an email and Tracy or I will make sure you get the links. Emails also come in handy when you are registering for classes, such as one of our non-accredited classes that is coming very soon. The art and practice of unapologetic, audacious self-care. This class will run 4 Tuesdays consecutively and will begin October 3rd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And it is a love offering based. So we are doing this because the hustle and bustle of the approaching holidays, family time, shopping, and festivities can create lots of non-life affirming and unhealthy stress. Practicing radical and unapologetic, audacious self-care can not only help us to navigate the holidays, but it can help us in changing the patterns throughout all of the areas of our lives so that we can live the most life affirming and healthy manner possible. So if this is something that interests you or you know someone else who it would benefit, then join us, send an email, and you will get more information on how to register. Once again, it's 4 weeks, meeting on Tuesday. Also coming soon in 2024, our first accredited class of the new year. Dun, dun, dun. Self-mastery, emergence of the true self. This will be a 6-week course on Mondays, specific date to be announced, so stay tuned, 7 to 8:30. That's going to be a set time for a lot of what we do because it gives people in a variety of time zones a good opportunity. So just, this class, the early bird price is $125 and the regular price is $200. So make note, capture this screen if you need to so you are aware of what exactly this class will offer. We will be using 2 texts. So join us. Self-mastery. It's an important skill to have. Now, if you are ready to dive into September, the theme for the month, in Science of Mind, we often say that the word God is synonymous with love. Why? Because God is all there is. Love must also be all there is. But in a world filled with war, remember that stuff we just talked about, the holidays, the festivities, the stress. In a world filled with war, violence, separation, and division, it is challenging to see that God, let alone love, resides behind, quote unquote, the darkness. I say that love is also in the darkness. That's me, Science of Mind and Spirit 4.0. This month, we are beginning to dive into this invitation of what it means to step into love, lean into love, dive into love, and to express that love out loud. So we are going to look for love everywhere we go. Look for love in all of the people that we interact with. Look for love in all of the events that are going on in the world. Now, it doesn't mean we look for love in war. It means when there is war going on, we go in there and we find where is love. Love is there when it's rebuilding a city. Love is there when it's people making sure that the neighbors have clean water and food. Love is not the war itself, but love is there in the midst of it. Breathe. And most of all, we look for love, express love within ourselves. If we want to see more love in the world, then we must be willing to live as an example of love in action. And today, specifically, we are talking about I love myself so much. Reminds me of a song. I love myself so much so that I can love you so much, so that you can love you so much, and then you can start loving me back, right? The experience of and the joy of being loved and loving others starts with us loving ourselves. We don't just inspire love in the world by living as an example of what love looks like. We also sow the seeds of love into the world. So if we want to encourage others to love themselves, which then becomes greater love towards others, because as you do for yourself, you do for others, then we must have the audacity to truly love ourselves out loud without reservation, hesitation, or pause. The people around us will then benefit as they experience and witness our own self-love practices. Others are then more likely to commit to their own practices after experiencing how effective they are for the people that they love. So let's dive deeper into this energy of this invitation to love ourselves and share that love with the world. Breathe. Because this adventure of loving ourselves is one of the most challenging, most important steps in this thing called New Thought, Science of Mind and Spirit. Because if we truly understand, as we're going to talk about, what love is and what it means, then we understand the importance of love as an action, not just a theorized idea, but as a verb. And as we love ourselves truly, then we can't help but to express it. Just like breathing. An inhale must be followed by an exhale for it to be breath, for it to be breathing, for it to be respiration. Love also, as love is inhaled, as love is received, as love is recognized, it must also be expressed. Because love is the give and the receive, in the same way that breath is the receive and the give, both one and the same. And yet we are terrified often because we've been trained not to love ourselves. But Dr. Holmes says, love is at the center of each person's being. And the calm, continuous pulsations of life are governed by love. And note it's capital L, love, which most times when Dr. Holmes capitalizes love, mind, etc., he's referring to God, God itself. So are governed by God. So love is at the center of each person's being. And because we are not talking about cut Ray open and let's find what's at the center. God, circle, circumference, nowhere, center, everywhere. Love, circumference, nowhere, center, everywhere. So love is the very center of all that we are being. Just like there is no place where you could open yourself up and find the center place where you are human, where you are a human being. It's all that you are. In the same way, love is all that you are. It is the very allness of you. So love is your being. And the calm, continuous pulsations of life are governed by the universe itself. How many of you are familiar with that classic Tina Turner song? What's love got to do with it? She says, what's love but a second-hand? What? Say what now? Oh, that's because we have mistaken what love actually is. So what does love have to do with it? And what is the it that we are asking this question about? What's love? Let's start there. What is love? When someone says, I love you, what is this person actually saying? When you say, I love you to someone, what are you actually saying? I love you. Does it mean I care about you? Are we saying, I am here for you? I support you. You are important to me. You are a significant part of my life. Is that what we mean when we say I love you? Because we say I love you. And just on face value, what does that mean? I care about you. Okay, I hear you. But even in that, I don't know what that means. I care about you. I'm here for you. So let's ask the question. Each of these, care about, am here for you, support, important, significant part. What do each of these look like as an action? How do you show care for? How do you show am here for? How do you show support? How do you show that someone is important? That they are a significant part of? How do you show it? What do you say? What do you do? How do you treat them? See, the words, I love you, beautiful and poetic. But if they are missing the action, then they're simply words. So let's dive into what do each of these mean? What do they look like as a practice, as an action? Marianne Williamson says, love is the essential existential fact. It is our ultimate reality and our purpose on earth. Breathe that in. To be consciously aware of it, to experience love in ourselves and others, is the meaning of life. To be consciously aware of it is the meaning of life. To experience love in ourselves is the meaning of life. To experience love in others is the meaning of life. What does that look like? How do we demonstrate this? How do we live this purpose as our mission? Not just a vision, but as our actual strategic step by step mission and purpose of how we show up in the world. There's a passage in the Bible, 1 John 4, 7 through 21, which we're only going to do 7 and 8. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. You got that? God is love. And anyone who does not love doesn't know God, according to this passage in the Bible. Let us love one another, because love is not just from God, because where do we get at the end? Let us love one another, for love is God. And whoever loves has been born of love and knows love, because God is love. And anyone who does not know God, does not know love, is in need of learning and feeling and experiencing. Because to not know love, to not know God, is to not know oneself. If God is all there is, and God is incarnating, individualizing itself as us, then if I don't know God, I can't know the truth of myself. I don't know love, I have no love, then I don't know the truth of myself. And if I don't know the truth of myself, then that's like saying, I'm not sure what this is. What is this? What is it? What is this? Is this an automobile? What is it? Is this a cup? Well, I mean, I'm not sure, because I don't even know what a cup is. So if I don't know what it is, then I don't know how to use it. If I don't know what it is, then I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to cooperate with it, to make use of this tool. If I don't know what I am, who I am, how I am, the beingness of me, then I also do not know how to live my life fully in the manner in which I could. My divine spiritual magnificence, I am oblivious of it. So, the invitation: the more we love, the more we know ourselves. The more we know ourselves, the more we know God. The more we know God, the more we know ourselves. The more we know ourselves, the more we know love, as ourselves and as others, and as others and ourselves. Breathe. Dr. Holmes says pretty much the same thing when he says, to me, the word God is a synonym for love, life, truth, beauty, reality, the absolute, the divine presence, the universal spirit. All of these synonyms for love, synonyms for God, synonyms for the all that is. Because God is universal. God is not just in each of us, but God is us. And if it weren't true, then there could not be an us. We would not exist. We would not be here, according to him. The word God is a synonym for love. And because love is universal, love is in and as each of us, or else we could not be. Breathe. Pam Grout says, we are people who need to love. Why? Remember what I said before about if we are missing love, we don't know God, then we don't know ourselves. So why do we need love? Because it gives us the space to know ourselves. Temet noske, know thyself. As we know ourselves, we are able to live fully. So we need love in the same way that we need air and water and food. It is who and what we are. It sustains life. She goes on to say, to the degree that we are able to do that, love, we are happy and fulfilled because we know ourselves. The hero's journey of who and what am I? I know who and what I am. We go through the entire circle of the hero's journey, and it is an ongoing thing because it spirals up. So to the degree that we learn who and what we are, express and experience love, then we feel greater levels of happiness and joy and fulfillment. because it is recognition of who and what we are. Love. It's Greek to me. You know where we're getting ready to go, right? There are multiple words for love as given to us by the Greek ancestors. Some of those words, agape, which means selfless or universal love. Okay. Now I invite you to come back, screen capture, email Trace Your Eye to get the slides, just so you can go over these. Because this love is unconditional. It is bigger than ourselves. It is boundless, infinite empathy, right? So how do we love with a selfless or a universal love that is without conditions? What about ludus? It is a playful love, okay? Oftentimes described as someone who has a crush. There's this kind of affection or playfulness between people who are young lovers. Doesn't matter their age, old lovers, doesn't matter. But it's being playful with love. Well, what about mania? This is expressed as codependency, extreme jealousy, which I would say doesn't even have to be extreme, jealousy, and oftentimes violence that comes from. Okay? It's obsessive love, or it's how they describe it. I would say that's not really love, but they're separating these just to start the conversation about when I am referencing this, I am talking about mania, obsessive love. And mania isn't just what we do with people, pyromania, the love of fire. That's why it's referencing love. It's an obsession with fire. I would say it's not love of fire, it's the obsession with fire. Okay? What about that? Eros, romantic, passionate love, erotic love. That's where the word erotic comes from, named after the Greek god of fertility. So each of these, pragma, love that endures, it's built on commitment and conviction. It's an understanding. It's a long-term connection that serves the best interest of all parties. It's where we get the word pragmatic. Philotia, self-love. The love we have that we care for others, but we can only care for others to the degree that we have cared for ourselves. We cannot give to another from an empty cup. So first, I must ensure that my own cup is full, that I can then offer someone else a drink, that I can then pour into their cup. How do I demonstrate love to and for myself? Because if I continually give and give and give and give and give, then eventually I have nothing left to give, which is ultimately one of the most unloving things, non-life affirming things we could do, to give so much that we no longer have to give, to work so much that we no longer have the energy to be with our family, to be with our friends. I'm depleted. I don't love myself enough. So I allow the energy to be exhausted. Okay, well, what about Storge? Familiar love or family love, the love that is experienced, the affection that is experienced in tight bonds, whether that's biological family or family of choice. It is the affection and the caring and the support that happens in that ohana, in that these are my family members of choice, these are my biological, this is my family. Storge. And then lastly, we have filio or philia, depending on one's translation. Love of affection, often referred to as brotherly love. Talk about gender specific. Friendship. This is where Philadelphia comes from, the word Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. But it is the love that you have for a friend. Now, you'll notice many of these overlap in a variety of ways, as well they should. These are simply ways of thinking about the concept of how can we show or express our love. Now, when Dr. Holmes says intuition is spirit knowing itself, well, yes, yes. And because of our theme today or this month, what I say is, well, then love is spirit knowing itself, and love is spirit loving itself. Breathe. The more aware we are, the more God is aware as us. The more we love, the more God as us loves. The more we are open to receiving love, the more God as us is open to receiving love. This is why this practice is important. It is paramount that we first grasp and understand, two, bring theory and understanding into embodiment and practice. Because it's recognizing our divinity and living that divinity. Dr. Holmes says, as all is mind, remember what I said before about those capitals, as all is God, as all is mind, and as we attract to us what we first become, what we are being, until we learn to love, we are not sending out love vibrations. And not until we send out those vibrations can we receive love in return. Now, I understand what he's saying. I don't agree. The reason I don't agree is because suppose I have been so abused, I don't trust you, I don't know you, I don't want to have anything to do with you, right? Which many adopted children may feel, foster children may feel, students in the educational system may feel because of a past teacher or past teachers who judged them and vilified them for a variety of reasons. And now they're in a new classroom, they're in a new family, they're in a new environment. And the family loves them. The new teacher expresses love towards them, acceptance without conditions, without judgment, without criticism. And so even though they are not sending out vibrations of love because they're closed in, they're closeted, they're in defense mode, they're not sending out those vibrations. They're sending out the vibrations of stay away from me, leave me alone. I'm better off by myself. That's the vibration they're sending out. And yet they begin to feel the effects of the love we give them. And as we send love to them, their guard starts to lower. Their hearts start to open. The defenses start to fade away. The fight, flight, fawn, freeze starts to fade away. And in its place, there is now freedom. And as that freedom and the vibration of that grows, they learn to receive love. And in that, they learn to love themselves. And in that, they learn to love others. And in that, they are set truly free to now send out those loving vibrations as the who they now see themselves, know themselves to be. They are transformed. So while I understand what he's saying, it is important to love without restriction. Love. Send out love. Send out love. Send out love. Let love be our prayer. Let love vibrate through our hello. Let love vibrate through a handshake or a hug. Let love vibrate into the food that we cook. Let love vibrate in all that we do because it's who and what we are. So much, in fact, that we now heal and transform those who do not see themselves as loving, who do not see themselves as worthy of love. For whatever reason, our love transforms them. because our love becomes a fierce love. And if you do not have Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis's book, I highly recommend you get it. In fact, we might do a book club related to this book, now that I think about it. Now, she says, we have to commit ourselves to change, to the transformative power of love, to allow ourselves to be fixed by love, convicted by love, challenged by love, and changed by love. On Facebook, she shared on February 18th, 2021. There are many ways to love each other. Love is essential to who we are and what we do. But can real love afford to be conflict averse? I've been thinking about this the whole time while writing my book, which I just finished in November. How can our love be fierce? I want to offer you my favorite definition of love. It's a quote by Jim Loder. She says, let's look at that quote more closely. Love is the non-possessive delight in the unique particularity of the other. The other, we are not all the same. Can we love despite that? Can we love because of that? If we give love permission, our lives can be fixed, convicted, challenged, and changed. Fierce love values those differences and believes the empathy and compassion that form when we love the other will transform our circumstances. Fierce love believes the empathy and the compassion that forms when we love the other will transform our circumstances, whatever the circumstances may be. Be brave with me and let's step fully into transformation together. It transforms our circumstances, whatever those circumstances may be. Health challenges, war challenges, conflict challenges, lack and scarcity challenges, racism challenges, sexism challenges. Doesn't matter what the challenges, the circumstances may be. When we fiercely love, no matter the differences, because of the differences, then through empathy and compassion, it forms the energy that then transforms the circumstances. Breathe. Bell Hooks says, whether we are engaged in a process of self-love or loving others, we must move beyond the realm of feeling to actualize love. This is why it is useful to see love as a practice, not just a feeling, but a practice. How do we love as a practice? Breathe. When we fully embody the awareness that God, the universe itself, is love, then we realize that the practice of love, of loving out loud, is actually the practice of Godding, out loud. In other words, like an artist does art, a singer sings, light shines, creation creates, love loves, because God gods. Our practice is to daily express what it means to be the beloved that cares, that loves, that nurtures, that heals, that creates, assists, evolves, be it. And it is why, and is what it is, and is ever becoming. Read that again. Our practice is to daily express what it means to be the beloved that loves, to be the beloved that cares, to be the beloved that nurtures, to be the beloved that heals, that creates, that assists, that evolves, and the beloved that is what it is and is ever and ever and ever becoming. Be it, practice it, embody it. Breathe. This week's affirmation or declaration, I will say it first, and if it resonates with you and you feel in alignment with it, then say it with me on our second go round. I have the courage to be who I am, to love myself out loud, and to love others. Together. I have the courage to be who I am, to love myself out loud, and to love others. And so it is. This week's end of message questions. Number one, how would you define love? I mean, suppose an alien from somewhere in outer space who is not familiar with the word love. How would you define it to that alien? Now, revisit those slides where the Greek words were shared and discussed, and then think to yourself or discuss it in the group. What are your thoughts and what are your experiences with each Greek word of love? Number two, do you love yourself? If so, why? If not, why not? And how do you know that you do, or how do you know that you don't? If there are situations where you are less than loving to yourself, what causes you to be unloving to yourself or to others? Number three, what is your daily self-love practice? If you do not have one, why not? What could you do to start one? Number four, why do you think it's important to love yourself and to love others? Who are people that you find it challenging to love? And what is it that makes loving them a challenge? And lastly, how does God is love impact you, impact your life, impact how you love yourself, and impact how you love others? Breathe as we enter into that space of prayer, that space of divine awareness where only love exists. Love exists as the words. Love exists as the vibration. Love exists as the isness and allness of all that is. It's only love, because it's only God. And so as we close our Sunday message and we close this time together, we open ourselves to the infinite expression of the divine, the infinite expression of love, the infinite expression of God. Not God expressing just out there somewhere, but God as us loving, God as us sharing, God as us breathing, God as us creating, God as us being God, Godding itself, embodying all that that means and all that that looks like as a practice, all that that looks like as an expression of this thing called life, as an expression of this thing called my life, while understanding that there is only one life, and that life is God, and that life is love, and that life is support, and that life is infinite, and that life is my life right now. And so I breathe, allowing the allness of love to be everything that I am, because I love myself so much which gives me the ability to also love you so much. And you love you so much. And that love transforms the world. The law says yes. So, right here and right now, that is what is set into motion. Right here and right now, that is what is creating, is created, is creation itself, right here and right now. Breathe and dive in. And so it is. Much love, much appreciation, everybody. See you over in the Zoom Fellowship Hall. Chat with you soon.